all those moments will be lost in time.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So we're in for part 3 of the Natalia Barnett situation, and I've rarely done follow-up videos, as you guys know, but I am so absolutely mystified at what is going on. If you don't know what's going on, I'll link part 1 and part 2 in the description box. Let's just see what's happening. This case is both interesting and frustrating because I feel like there's a very easy way to figure out whether Natalia is a child or not, and yet here we still are. Okay, let's just read it. So I'm gonna skip some parts of the article because some of it is introductory and that's what part 1 and part 2 were, so we're gonna just skip that. So the title of this article is another fun mouthful. Exclusive: Ukrainian dwarf adopted by American couple who claimed she was an adult sociopath masquerading as a child is now living in Indiana with a new devout Christian family of 5 who believe she was abandoned by them. And this is from Daily Mail, which I know is not the most reputable source, but Daily Mail has been in direct contact with Christine Barnett. They're pretty much the only people who are talking about this in an updated fashion because a lot of the articles are a week or days older. Fooling around with her 5 siblings, singing in church, and beaming from ear to ear, this is quote-unquote abandoned Natalia Barnett. Love the shade. Living with a Christian couple who consider her their teen daughter. As the bewildering case prepares to play out in court, a DailyMail.com investigation can today reveal Natalia has found a new home with a Christian couple from Indiana and their 5 kids. Natalia's new father figure, 36-year-old Antoine Mans, was recently ordained as a pastor and lives in a former church parsonage with his wife Cynthia, 39. DailyMail.com understands the devout couple are aware of the questions swirling about the true age of their Ukrainian quote-unquote daughter, who is barely taller than a toddler because of the bone disorder, and then the word I can't say, dysplasia. I don't know why they're bringing her height into I don't know, I just thought that was a weird thing to mention. Like, okay, who cares though? The real deal is her age and whether, you know, the small detail of whether she's a psychopath or not, but okay. But images posted to social media make clear they treat the diminutive female as a child. Why do they? This is weirdly worded. I mean, I don't want to assume any intention here, but it looks discriminatory. Dressing her in colorful kids' clothes and captioning a photo of Natalia and a young playmate, sweetest best friends ever. A family friend told Daily Mail she considered the Mans to be good Samaritans who came across an abandoned child in need of help and welcomed her into their hearts. The Mans care for Natalia and she likes being there, said the friend. There's nothing crazy going on. These are good people. Honestly, I think they think they're doing a good gesture, but it's like, I am tending to believe that Natalia is an adult now, but I don't want to say for sure because, like I said, there's no confirmation. This is all loose ends that need to be tied up. But still, if there were a kid, assuming she's a kid in their perspective, right? If 2 families choose to relinquish their parental rights of this child, maybe ask yourself why, because it seems improbable to me that these 2 families are just shitty families that don't want to take care of a child, you know? In and of itself, that should make anyone step back for a second. And I'm sure they think they're doing something good, but it's like, are you really prepared for what you're stepping into? They just so happened to come across this person that was not being treated right and cared enough to put in the effort to make sure something was done about it. If it's true that her parents had abandoned her, it's horrible. I'm not a doctor or a psychiatrist, but I've spoken with Natalia and I believe her. If you're asking me if I think she's 30, that's ridiculous. Honestly though, the Barnetts did take care of Natalia in the sense that they brought her to psychiatrists, they got her like treatments and stuff, so I don't think it's fair to just write them off as like, oh, they just abandoned her. Like, they spent time and money into ascertaining, first of all, her age and making sure she was mentally okay. That's a lot of effort, in my opinion. The Mans tried to become Natalia's legal guardians in 2016, but court records show they later withdrew their petition after the court upheld an earlier ruling that she was born in 1989 and not 2003. Nevertheless, she has remained a fixture in their lives ever since, appearing at family outings, joining them in church, and featuring in regular Facebook updates. They've already tried to speak to Natalia's adopted parents and tried to go through the courts, added the friend. They're just not getting anywhere, and now this is escalating. She is just in a really awkward position, and they are trying to help her out. There's actually very limited things they can do for her because people are saying she's 30. She can't even go to high school. Records show the Mans have also sought guardianship for several of their other children. A caption on former McDonald's manager Cynthia's Facebook page declares, "Adoption is love." Another post, an apparent joke aimed at her kids, reads, "My daughter, the sweetest, most beautiful, loving, amazing, evil, psychotic creature you'll ever meet." Christine and Michael Barnett, 43, were experienced foster parents themselves when they decided to adopt Natalia in 2010, believing she had been in the US 2 years and was 6 years old. old. Medical reports from 2012 state that Natalia had admitted to being at least 18 and was perpetuating the age misconception in order to be treated as a child by parents and strangers. So the rest of this article seems pretty much identical to my part 2 video, so I'm not gonna repeat everything. I know I sound like a broken record, but this case is dragging on so much that I just wonder, do they want it to drag on? Like, I genuinely can't understand why we can't just look at dental records or some kind of way to ascertain her age for sure, with no doubt, at least to ascertain that she's over 18 anyway. Why can't we just do that? Because that would already remove so much of the shit that's around this. Because if we ascertain that she's over 18, then we know that the Barnetts didn't abandon her, a child anyway. Plus, I think they did try to take care of her, honestly. But anyway, and then based on that, I think it would also be easier to take care of her mental problems because, of course, the treatment you're gonna give a child is not the same treatment you're gonna give an adult. So I just don't know. And honestly, I'm kind of concerned for this new adoptive family because if the 2 prior adoptive families had a problem, it's just so hard for me to believe that they're both just shitty families. Like, I think there has to be a problem on her side as well. So we pretty much know that she has the mental problems as she went to in a couple of psychiatric clinics. But aside from that, we need to also figure out whether she has these bigger problems of being a psychopath or whatever, which it's interesting because the articles always mention that, but they never explain any reasoning behind why anyone came to that conclusion. Like, they'll just throw in psychopath in the title and then it'll never be mentioned again. So I'm also wondering where that really factors in. Confusing. This could be the last video I'm doing on this because I don't want to turn it into like a 10-part series. I might do one last thing when the case eventually wraps up, hopefully. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get right into the fan art.